Welcome to the Fantasy Aceball podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball. And if you're watching live, I guess it's not live, you're just watching on YouTube, then it is at the Tim Kanak on the YouTube channel. And you can see Monsieur Doc Eisenhauer is here at Doc Eisenhauer on the Twitter. I just made you French for some reason. I hope you're okay with being French today. Jacques Mebleu. I don't even know what that means. I took Spanish, not French, in school. But what do you think about being French, Doc, today?
Je peux parler un petit peu de français parce que j'ai vu au Canada pour beaucoup de, I don't know, too much time I spent in Canada. And it made me gay. The French, and that's cool if that's what you are. It's just like, the French just sounds a little bit more je ne sais quoi. There's like, you have to like put your shoulder into it, and that's okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, And if you we're coming off hot. We're coming on the show hot.
That's hilarious. I'm all for it. All the snowbirds are in this area are like, well, not all of them. A lot of them are Canadian. So they're terrible at driving. So I'm just going to leave that there. Canadians, learn how to drive. Learn how to drive in Miami first. You have to no turn signals. Always drive through on yellow, no matter how late into the yellow it is. And what else do we have for you Canadians? The Canadians and Russians. Canadians and Russians are like
you Canadians. Listen. I'm American now. The hyphen is the enemy of the American people. I don't believe in British American. I don't believe in Canadian American or any other kind of American. If you want to come here, be a citizen. I signed up for it. I got this is such a funny shirt to have for the moment. I got this Looney Tunes USA shirt on. That's a classic.
Is that a Space Jam? Is that like a Space Jam?
No, that's just Looney Tunes, bro. That's just classic. That's just I watch a lot of Looney Tunes. You could probably tell, like, based on like how like immature and dumb I am, that I watch a lot of Looney Tunes. But also kind of like antiquated.
Favorite Looney Tunes character?
I mean, it's Bugs. It's easily Bugs. Like if because this, and that he's your favorite because when you turn it on, like, and it's not a Bugs episode, you're always like, it'd be cool if it was Bugs. But I mean, second favorite would be a better question. That's a tough one.
Roadrunner, man. Roadrunner's sick. Dude doesn't even talk, and he's hilarious. Like, how can you be that funny without even talking?
He's you actually raised a good point though. I think the best series is probably, it's not Wile E. Coyote even. I like that one, the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner, but how about the one, it's like, he's got a different name. He looks like Wile E. Coyote, but his name's like Frank Wolf. I think his name's Frank. Frank Wolf, and he's battles the sheepdog. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do, but it has been forever.
Sorry. Now we're getting into the lore. Now we're getting into the Looney Tunes lore.
Sorry, dude. I'm like, I know a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of Lord of the Rings, but I don't go that deep into Looney Tunes myself. So we have some prospects for you, I promise. By the way, Roman Anthony was called up and made his debut. And then also Grant Taylor, which is hilarious because last podcast, I literally said on the podcast, Grant Taylor could come up this year as a reliever and be like the Garrett Crochet route to being a starter. Like, I think he's just going to be a reliever until they're like, okay, dude, you're good. Let's turn you into a starter now and make you our next Garrett Crochet. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me yet. But if it's going to happen, that's the way it's going to happen. I'm just not convinced he's not a reliever yet. And I don't think that's a bad thing. People act like it's like a eulogy when you find out your favorite electric arm becomes a reliever. Mason Miller, I got a lot of pushback for a little while when it was just becoming obvious this guy can't stay healthy with Mason Miller. And he was getting older. Taylor's not that old, so it is possible. But Miller was getting up there to the point where, like, he wasn't old, but you need to see him be a professional baseball player in the big leagues, a big league baseball player, one way or another. And, well, look, now he's valuable. And it's funny. People are like, oh, relievers are everywhere. It's like, are they, though? Like, a really good reliever, a lockdown, lights-out closer? It's like the competitive teams are always like, we need to trade the farm for a closer,
Yeah.
Well, how about you just build one up?
The Padres literally did. They traded like their entire farm system except for DeVries and Salas for Tanner Scott last year. And then there are rumors. I don't know how real they are, but have you seen some of the Mason Miller trade rumors? Like the Phillies apparently offered like Justin Crawford, like basically everybody except for Andrew Painter. I think they offered like Justin Crawford and Arun Escobar and like Alec Boehm all for Mason Miller, and they said no. Like that's the rumor. It's crazy though. That's a crazy offer. Maybe even Mickey.
Like, that's the real life value of an electric reliever. So again, I'm telling you, not the worst outcome, especially if you're a real life White Sox fan. Maybe they're disappointed. I don't know. I was on a White Sox podcast yesterday. Shout out to the Blackout Show. The Blackout Show has Ozzie Guillen Jr. as a co-host, but I took his spot last night.
Oh, you didn't even get a pod with him. You filled in. But the thing is, did you pull an well, I guess it's not junior, it's Ozzie senior. I was gonna say, did you pull an Ozzie and say something crazy? Well, you're Doc, so you probably did say something crazy.
I mean, dude, I came out here and like called French people gay. It was like I could never get away with that on Dynasty Dingers. Matt Big, whoa, we got to bring that one back. All right, we're gonna bring. Tim says we're running it. We're doing it live. You're canceled.
Yeah, we're fun. This is a fun podcast. This is for fun. If this isn't fun, then what's the point? I don't have ads. I'm like the only I don't care how many people listen. I have hundreds of people listening, and I'm not going to put ads because I don't care about it. Like I'm doing this for fun, not for money. So we do this for fun here. So top 10 prospects for this week, T10. Number 1, the first guy that Doc has never heard of, outfielder Tristan Peters with the Rays. So this dude has been around forever, but this week, Doc, he was 11 for 21 with 8 extra base hits, 3 bombs, a steal, and he's having a really good year. This is a guy who actually might be relevant in regular leagues this year, especially because the Rays, they call guys up when they're 25 because he's 25 years old. But he is hitting 291, 377, 466 on the season with 6 bombs, 7 steals. Pretty solid numbers, though the EV numbers, like I don't really know if I'm buying because he's only hits the ball like 88 miles an hour on average, a max EV of 106. So like nothing pretty there. I'll bring up John's stuff here while you talk a little bit about Peters.
Oh, I'm a big Jason Peters. Just say his name wrong. Tristan Peters guy. Yeah, he's 6'1", 180, the classic like generic baseball player. You gotta love that. Hey, it looks like he's got a solid hit tool, which I like, and that usually portends. Oh, we gotta use the word portends more often. That usually portends. Yeah, portends at least a solid career. Yeah, he's just solid right now. I don't know what his glove's like, so I don't know how that's gonna, because with the Rays, that's gonna matter. Look at Chandler Simpson, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He has an 88 average EV. That's not amazing. It doesn't really have he has a Caleb Durbin-esque max EV of 106. So yeah, it's like this is not a profile that's gonna knack you sack saf, but yeah, maybe this is a terrible comp. Maybe he's like Mark Canha. That's like the least sexiest comp.
Yeah. Points league darling that Mark.
Oh God.
I don't know, like 12 to 15 bomb profile here. But like you said, he's got a pretty solid hit tool, and he's hit through the minors. I mean, 2022 even when he was with Milwaukee, he's been around. With Milwaukee, he hit 306. Then he went to the Giants, and he's been in the Rays system now for 3 years. Hit 275 his first year. Last year, not so good. But, I don't know. I think he'd be like 12 bombs, 20 steals if he had a full season of at-bats. But he's probably a 4th outfielder. Like, you can see if you're watching on YouTube, his platoon stats. He's much better against righties than against lefties. 302, 372, 509, triple slash against righties. That'll play all day right there. So I think he's a solid guy who could make an appearance if someone gets hurt for the Rays, and just a nice name to keep an eye on, especially if he stays hot like this. Yeah, anything else on him, Doc, or are we done with Mr. Jason Jason has to be his middle name. Tristan Jason Peters.
I want to see how available this guy has to be. Very widely available. Yeah, he's 0%. I'll give him an ad. I have this prospects only league. He's only one of my 30 teamers, but in this very deep prospects only, as in like you have to add them as prospects, and then they can graduate onto your team. They stay on your team for life. And no trading major leaguers. I can't believe he's available in that one, to be honest. That's unusual. I'm wondering if people, we'll find out how many people listen to your podcast. I'm not going to tell them how much I'm bidding on him, just in case people listen, because that's until next Sunday now. This is not really.
Yeah.
Hey,
you got to win him. He's going to play. You've got to win him. So number 2, T2 prospect for this week. This is a name that I really, really like for the future, actually. Tristan Peters is more like an immediate guy. That's a guy that I want, like, if you're in a really deep league and you just kind of need someone who might play this year and snag you some points or like get you some PT. I like Tristan Peters for that. But Wyatt Sanford with the Pirates is a name to watch. Wyatt Sanford this last week, 8 for 18, 3 extra base hits, all home runs, and 3 steals. So 3 bombs, 3 steals, really sexy right there. And in 24 games on the season, Doc, he's hitting 306, 485, 514, 16.3% walk rate, 17.3% K rate, 6 extra base hits, 4 bombs, and 16 steals. So Sanford was the 2nd round pick for the Pirates last year. And I guess he was hurt to begin the year. You know, minor leagues, they don't really disclose anything like that. But really good numbers for 16 steals in 24 games with 4 homers. So it's not like this is just like a speed only profile. Wyatt Sanford seems to be a lot of fun. Like this guy is he what's his face? Connor Griffin, what's his face? Just got promoted to high A. Now Wyatt Sanford is going to be the star of that like low A Pirates lineup until he meets up with Connor back in high A.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves being like, hey man, guess what? Don't worry, Wyatt Sanford. You're now the star of the Pirates low A lineup. He's like, oh man, I got a lot of work to do. My life's not going well. No, he's Wyatt Sanford. The first time I heard of that name, I was like a high school kid out of Texas. I just put a picture of Wyatt Langford's face with like a funny mustache and Microsoft Paint glasses. I was like, yeah, sure thing, bro. Because someone was hyping him up big time. Yeah, Wyatt Sanford, I'm sure. So no, but he does not really like Wyatt Langford at all. He's actually, I am familiar with him. He had a kind of a big defensive background, more of like one of those, like with Jacob Wilson coming out of the draft to some extent, like gold glove first kind of guy. So draws less attention in fantasy. Decent hit tool he's supposed to have with like kind of just like mid everything. And so, and I think, what's he, 5? Yeah, 6'1", 6'1", 175. He's maybe 5'11", but that's okay. 6'1's better. So what we're seeing now, though, is that he's got the good surface stats, really great surface stats, actually, especially in high A. But his contact rate is just fine, 74%. But he's a kid. So wait. So he's 19 still. So 74% contact rate. I'd love to know his zone. That would help. But everything seems to line up. He's really not striking out a lot. 12% at low A right now. It's only 5 games, but 19% before that. Yeah, this is a guy to keep your eye on. I mean, in the 30-teamers, he's long gone. He's no Tristan Peters. He's no Tristan, don't call me Jason Peters. And so, it's someone, if you're maybe in a 15 to 20 teamer, might want to see if he's doing laps in the free agent pool.
Yeah. So he's only been at A-ball for a little bit. He started in complex, 25 plate appearances, but these numbers are pretty sick, Doc. Look at this. His zone contact is 87.2 and his zone swing is 84.8. So this dude, he knows the zone. Like he's swinging at pitches in the zone 80. He's like super aggressive on the base pass and super aggressive at the plate. 15.8% barrel rate so far in A-ball. So Wyatt Sanford, this guy is like a guy that like I just finished my top 150, and this is a guy that I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to like sneak him in the next time. So Wyatt Sanford, I think now is the window to buy, because once people start seeing what he's doing at that level, he's going to skyrocket. He's just going to be one of those guys that if he keeps this up for another couple of weeks, you're not going to be able to find him in leagues. I think now is the buy window for Wyatt Sanford with the Pirates. T3. This is a guy that we've had in the T10 before. He's making a dramatic comeback. It is Cal Stephen with the Blue Jays. Doc's gonna have to apologize because we got Blue Jay on here. Gotta apologize to Canada a little bit here, but Cal Steven this week, 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks, 150 ERA, 0.5 WHIP for the Cal. For what can we call him? Should we just call him Drogo? I mean, like,
I don't think he's Canadian.
No, this dude is not Canadian, but and the Blue Jays are in Dunedin, so they're in Florida.
Or maybe he is.
Yeah, maybe he is. I doubt it. I'm gonna pull his profile up real quick here because I know that he kind of had a rough patch because he was promoted to high A from low A after dominating low A, and he had a couple bad starts in high A, like 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and then he had this killer game, 11 Ks with 0 walks in his first good game against high A competition. So Cal Steven making it work, coming back here. And you could see, if you're watching on YouTube, his whole Arsenal profile since he was pitching in Aceball in Florida State League. We have his per pitch breakdown, his StatCast data. So a teaser to go watch the YouTube channel. What do you think about Cal Steven, Doc?
Well, I thought maybe we had an Arabic guy, but no, we have this is basically the equivalent of like a Jackson with Jaxon. This is just someone. Yes, this guy was born. When did it come out? Let's just say, was he born? I was trying to think how old we are now, like, because eventually you're going to see some of these stupid. You're going to see some kids, some prospects coming up who were named after like Game of Thrones characters. That's going to be in 10 years.
Littlefinger.
That'll be 10 years.
I hope somebody named their child Littlefinger. That would be the best.
Well, no, we know all the prospects. So yeah, I mean, so 2009-ish, 2010, definitely. So you're going to see the 18, you're going to see the 16, 17, you're going to see 17-year-olds in 2027. So we're a couple of years off. Anyway, this guy is he's just a good old Midwestern kid from Danville, Illinois. I know exactly where that is. He's got a good build, 6'4", 215. And Victor Scott's still not getting his. I friggin' love that dude. It's so good when he does that. No, but so he's doing what you want to do. I see it on this show all the time. Striking out a lot per 9 and not walking a lot per 9. It's going down. It's minuscule. He's not letting up bombs. He needs a promotion. He needs a promotion here. He needs to move on up.
He just got it, man. He just went to high A. He made 3 starts.
He just went to high A? He needs another one.
Starts. He might. I mean, he throws the 4-seamer has a 15.8% swinging strike rate. That's really insane for a 4-seam fastball. Like, most 4-seamers are good at, like, in the minors, even at like a 12% swing strike rate. Like, for instance, I think Quinn Matthews' 4-seamer is only like 6% or something like that. So 15.8 swinging strike rate on a fastball is a really good fastball. And then his slider and changeup are both over 20% swinging strike rates. Sinker, 16.7% swinging strike rate. So he's got a really nice arsenal here for Cal Steven. All right. My dog is freaking out right now. So we're going to go to number 4. I think he wants to go pee. He's a puppy. Number 4, catcher Leonardo Bernal with the Cardinals. Leonardo Bernal, 6 for 16, 5 extra base hits this week, 3 bombs. And we keep talking about it. Catchers in Missouri, there's something about it. Leonardo Bernal is at AA. I saw him live a couple of years ago when he was still in Jupiter at Aceball. He's got the classic fire hydrant catcher build. Dude looks like a catcher. On the season, Doc, 289, 371, 530 slash with 18 extra base hits, 9 bombs, 4 steals. And you're going to like this, an almost 80% contact rate for a catcher, which is definitely a plus hit tool for a catcher. What do you think about Leo Bernal?
I think I saw him get picked up in a 20-teamer today. So that means his knowledge is spreading. That's a CBS league it's not our league. I did it again in our CBS league. I didn't even set up lineups today. So I'm screwed. Didn't set up lineups for the week.
Last night you were in first for like I don't know, an hour, and then I retook it like right at the last second.
Well, it doesn't sound like I'm doing myself any favors by missing all ads and not setting lineups. But
I added Michael McGreevy because John Denton said that he was going to stick in the rotation for the rest of the year. And then he gets sent down right after the game. So thanks, John Denton, for wasting.
Oh no, I have friggin' Noah Cameron on my bench. That's terrible. Yeah, that needs to not be the situation. Oh wait. Oh, there's still time. They haven't played yet. Who should I bench him for? Tyler Mahle, or is he running out of luck?
Yeah, Mahle. But
is he playing the White Sox? No, he's playing the Twins. Twins are good.
Mahle.
Right,
put in Mahle.
Okay. Put in Mahle?
Yeah.
No, I'm putting Noah Cameron, bro.
Cameron in for Mahle.
Yes, correct.
Who's Mahle versus?
And I was just saying he's playing. Mahle's playing the Twins. It looks like I don't know how to read CBS. I don't know anything about CBS. Oh no, Cameron's getting the Yankees. Yeah, this is gonna be his wake up call. Oh no! Now I don't know what to do.
No, play Mahle, dude. Don't play Cameron. Actually, put in Cameron because I'm against you. Put in Noah Cameron against the Yankees. Go for it. Go full Doc. You gotta lean all the way into your guys.
I don't even know what this means. Okay, no, he is slated to start against the Yankees. We're going with my guys.
Yes.
We're going with my guys, and we'll see what happens. My team's so good, it doesn't even matter. Although my team's so good, it doesn't matter. I would have put Durbin in this week. But it's okay. We're gonna move on. I'm sure the fans are loving this talk.
Like, what are you talking about? No, Memorial Magazine League.
Well, folks, you know what? Let's make this interesting.
Doc and I have been 1-2 the whole year.
And who's in the league? A couple big names.
Oh yeah.
We got Scott White and Frank Stanfill in that league, folks. So CBS boys got to catch up to the whoever we are. Gosh, were we talking about a prospect? Yeah, Bernal. Yeah, dude, he's got some catching up to do, but I think people are starting to catch on that he's something. And hey, the Cardinals, they're doing something right. They're doing something right with boring pitchers and solid catchers.
This guy destroys lefties. Do you see this slash talk? In 49 plate appearances against lefties, he has 6 bombs with an 804 slug, just completely destroying lefties. If you're a lefty and you're against Leonardo Bernal, you have no chance. Like he will destroy you. We're gonna move to T5. This is an old name. This is a P10 name because I talked about him all the time on Prospect One with Welsh last year. That is Sean Sullivan with the Rockies. Dude, he's back now. He was out for like a month or something to begin the season. And of course, there's the Pittsburgh Pirates, Sean Sullivan, who sucks. And then there's the Rockies, Sean Sullivan. So now I've got to click the right one. And they have little codes that John put in here. So I clicked the wrong one. Here's the good one. Here he is. So Sean Sullivan with the Rockies. This last week, 6 innings pitched, 8 Ks, 0 walks, 0 ERA, 0.5 whip. So he's healthy. He's back in the lineup or back in the rotation. You see, he's his first start, only 44 pitches. So it took him a little bit to get back in there, but he's back in Double-A. And the last 2 starts, actually, 15 strikeouts with 0 walks. This is a guy with like pinpoint, excellent command. He was in my top 150 last year, but I dropped him out because he was not healthy. So now that he's back, he could kind of fit back in there. It is kind of scary putting a Rockies guy in there because even if Chase DeLander cannot have success in Colorado, so it's a little bit scary. But Sullivan doesn't walk anyone. So the main thing for him is like if he can avoid Coors damage, he may not get the Ks there, but as long as he can avoid Coors damage, he's going to be pretty good. He's a sidearmer too, so he's got like a really interesting delivery. So maybe that plays better in Coors. I'm not really sure what to expect with that. What do you think?
So he's heavily reliant on the fastball, would you say?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's better for Coors because it crushes movement. So if you're relying on you're bending stuff to get you by there. Good luck with that. Yeah, I remember he was a pretty big name coming in. Not the biggest, but he was big enough coming out of that draft. So that stacked 2023 draft class in the second round. That probably puts him in right near, kind of near Thomas White territory in terms of where he's drafted. But yeah, I wasn't super high on him necessarily because he's a Rockies pitcher and he's not really striking guys out a lot, but hey, he's making improvements in that territory. And again, the command looks solid. I was just thinking about when you think about multiple Sean Sullivans. For a second there, I thought you were talking about him getting traded or something like that. It made me think about Jeff Hoffman. Remember, I believe he was a Rockies guy, right? Like he was a top pitching prospect for the Rockies as a starter. And I just remember him getting jacked up with like an 80 RA for the first forever of his career, but they had to keep running him out there because that's all they got. And now he's just like an electric closer. He's got some problems this year, but yeah, we'll see what happens. That's the best I can do with a Rockies pitcher is start talking about another pitcher.
Herman Marquez is like praying that he gets traded. He's like, please get me out of here. But yeah, Sullivan, he's got he was out of Wake, and he's got like he's a fastball slider guy. So definitely interesting arm angle. Like my comp for him that I threw on him was a skinnier lefty Tanner Houck, because he's got like that weird Tanner Houck kind of arm angle. So that's what I got on him. Let's go to T6. T6 is, drum roll as I'm trying to find my tab, Kalen Culpepper, shortstop with the Twins. I think we talked about him a few weeks ago, but he had another really nice week. 3 extra base hits, 2 bombs, 3 steals. He snuck into my top 150, Doc. I got him at 125 in my latest ranking. I think he's got like some Dansby Swanson qualities to him. He's got plus contact rate. He's basically like above average across the board. There's not like one standout elite tool with Kalen Culpepper, but he's like just a really solid dude across the board. He should probably be in AA. Talk about promotions. In high A, he's hitting 301, 395, 497, 11.5% walk rate, 17.5 K rate, 17 extra base hits, 8 homers, 14 steals. So that's just like a really nice line across the board. Pretty Dansby Swanson-ish with maybe a better hit tool. But I mean, like 78% contact rate. So like once that translates to majors, it probably will be like a 240 Dansby Swanson. But what do you think about Kalen Culpepper?
We were talking about him on your ranks, right?
Yeah, was that? Well, that's what I was gonna say. Was that last podcast, or was that like a couple times ago in the T10? I can't remember.
Well, you did a couple podcasts since that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So and it probably feels like forever ago for you. You've been cheating on me. So I've been not available. It's actually, yeah, it's funny. I thought I'd be really available. My wife and kids out of town, and it's like, nah, bro, life comes at you fast. Yeah, same thing I said on the other one. It's just basically kind of surprising people, right? We thought it'd be more boring, defensive first, and here's the thing, right? When maybe that's something to remember moving forward with defense first guys. I mean, that's a good question. Would you say it's harder to develop a glove or a bat? Like, and when I say that, I mean from like average to really good or elite or good.
That is a good question. I think it's more important to develop the glove first, because I've just watched Jordan Walker, who came up with an advanced hit tool, and then he was sucked at defense, and then he had to try to get good at defense, and then now the bat suffered. So it's like you almost want to have the glove first, because then you're going to get you're going to be in the lineup. Then you're going to get the PAs.
Victor Scott.
You're going to get the chances like Victor Scott or Mason Wynn, who Mason Wynn actually struggled when he first came up. People forget about that now. Everyone forgets that Mason Wynn in his first little small sample size was hitting like 100 over for like a month. But now everyone's like, oh, Mason Wynn's actually like a really good solid shortstop all the way around. But I think it's important to have the glove first, because when you're a hit guy and you come up and you're trying to fill some position that maybe wasn't the position you played when you came up, it's just gonna mess with you unless you get DH reps. Unless they're just gonna plug you a DH. Like if you're Nick Kurtz, you're like, who cares? You know what I mean? But if you're Jack, like, who cares? But if you're trying to play center field or shortstop or something like that, I think it's pretty important to have the glove down pat.
Yeah, no, and it's like if you do that, like again, the most recent example we can give people, the most potent one is Chandler Simpson. I'm gonna keep saying it, right? Like you can be a fantasy darling, and all of a sudden you're gone. People over here, like, and then the opposite is Victor Scott, and then from a prospect, like, because he's going through a struggle right now, and I don't really feel like he's in jeopardy of losing playing time because he's just such an absolute unit out there. And then with the prospects like Culpepper, it's like it's going to bring him to the bigs faster, and that's gonna speed up. In theory, you're gonna be forced to advance your bat, and we're seeing that safe little profile. Well, maybe he's hinting at something more.
Yeah, number 7, T7 is outfielder Miguel Blay with the Red Sox. This guy's a guy from like 2023. He was a guy years ago. Talk about prospect fatigue. Everyone forgot this guy even existed. It's kind of like Blaze Jordan. Like who? This last week's 7 for 20, 5 extra base hits, 4 bombs, 2 steals for Miguel Blay. 260, 335, 513 on the season. 9.8% walk rate, 26.6% K rate. So still striking out a bunch, but 18 extra base hits, 10 bombs, 11 steals. So looking like a 25 guy in the major or in the minors this year. And he's still only 21 years old. That's the thing to keep in mind is like sometimes these guys are pop guys at Complex or A-ball. And when they're 18, they're like, oh, that guy's going to be awesome. And then he has a crappy year and he disappears. Yep, that guy sucks. I'm going to X him out of my mind forever. But then they're still so young that they still have time to develop and actually still be good at a decent age. So McGill Blay, just an interesting name from the past. What do you think?
Yeah, we move on fast, don't we? Well, I mean, I remember, I kind of feel weird putting this out there without being fully confident, but didn't he have character issues?
I think so. I think that sounds accurate to me. I can't remember exactly what, but that's kind of the word.
Okay, so I'm glad. Now, because both of us kind of heard something like that, that means it's factual. That's how the world works in 2025. You don't like it? Change the world. This is a great podcast.
I love that.
It was free forming. So no, we have to talk about him now. So yeah, but I just he never really jumped off the page to me. Maybe that's just because the Red Sox have continued to churn talent past him in the pecking order. He's still only 21 years old, so that's actually, if we're being serious, he just turned 21. So, well, you're telling me some kid who was 18, 19 maybe, getting money thrown at him that he'd never seen before, getting told he's a star. It's possible for them to kind of, have an ego or develop one. It's like, yeah, we can give him some time to grow up. And maybe he will, and he's got to work on that K percentage. It's creeping up a little bit, but he's starting to walk a little bit more, which works. I think you want to see him move on up into Double-A, see how he performs there. But no doubt there's some power and speed. That's a fantasy-friendly duo. Yeah, 38 steals last year, and 11 home runs in 95 games. He's already got 10 home runs in 42 games this year, so that's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. He's brought that tool, the power tool, along. Like, it was always there. I mean, he was scouted with a potential 55 game power and 60 raw power. So I mean, like, it was there. He's actually just like showing it now. He's like finally like getting into his tools. Instead of, like you said, he's probably, I mean, like, I don't know, if I got paid millions of dollars when I was a teenager, like, God knows what I would have done with that kind of money. So yeah, who knows? He's making it work now, though. And talking about 2023, we're gonna go to T8. This is another blast from the past here. Coleman Crow with now the Brewers. You probably remember him with the Angels in 2023. He was like this up and coming guy. Like, oh, look at this guy. He's like doing some good stuff. And then the Mets traded for him, and he never played a game with the Mets. He had Tommy John surgery. And then the Brewers got him from the Mets. I don't even know how the Brewers got him from the Mets. I think that when he was traded from the Angels to the Mets, what trade was that in? That was that for a reliever? That was like a trade deadline trade. I can't remember who was traded back. But in 6 innings this last week, 9 Ks, 0 walks, 0 ERA, 0.17 whip, meaning he only gave up 1 hit in those 6 innings. And he's actually having a really strong year. 37 innings pitched, 26.9 K minus walk, 14.3 swinging strike rate, 32.1 CSW, 243 ERA, 0.92 whip. Those are stellar numbers from an organization, the Brewers, who actually know how to develop a pitcher. So what do you think about Coleman Crow with the Brewers?
Traded for Tyrone Taylor and Adrian Hauser.
Hauser, that's who I was thinking of. Hauser trade.
Yeah, so he, this is a guy who 23 with the Angels, 11K per 9, 2 walks per 9. Kind of doing that again, but better. So it's what you want to see coming off the Tej. So, I mean, yeah, he's doing what you want. He's not the biggest guy, but he's got a great name. It's like a 70 grade name at least. Coleman Crow.
It's a 90s. That's a 90s sitcom kid. That's like a Nickelodeon kid, Coleman Crow.
No, that's like the smoker in the high school gang though, or the high school crowd.
Oh
school,
yeah, with the black leather jacket.
It's Coleman Crow. Yeah, he's like really into the movie The Crow.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. I wish I said it before I saw it. I was gonna say this guy's definitely from the South, Coleman Crow, and he's from Concord, Georgia.
He's got a T-top. He's got a T-top. What's that car with the one that with the Corvette engine, the LS1?
Oh yeah.
It's not just the fake Corvette with the T-top.
Went to high school in Zebulon, Georgia. Now, Zebulon, trivia time. Whose name is Zebulon?
Zebby Matthews.
Correct. That's his real name, is Zebulon. And that's a real fact. We don't joke around on this podcast.
Sounds like the Matrix, man. It's like a Matrix name. Zebulon. We don't joke around on this podcast. All right. All right, jokester. I don't have anything else on Coleman Crow. So we're going to move to number 9, who I do have stuff on. I love this guy. It is starting pitcher Thomas White with the Marlins. The only reason I ranked him 9 is because he only pitched 4 innings, but in 4 innings, he was dirty. 8 Ks, 0 walks, 0 ERA, 0.25 whip for Mr. Thomas White. Talk about a guy who needs a promotion. Like, why is Thomas White still hanging around high A? Like, I don't understand that one. Thomas White, Travis Sikora, just keep bumping those kids up. He only threw 51 pitches, though, and only 39 the last time out. So I don't know if there's like some underlying injury concern or if they're just limiting his pitch count or what. Earlier in the season, he was pitching into the 70s. So I don't really know what's up with that. That'll be interesting to find out. Maybe I should tag Craig Mish on X and ask him, yo, is Thomas White all right? What's up with his pitch count? To find out. But I've talked a lot about Thomas White this year. Way more velo than last year, just kind of like Snelling. Changed his slider. So he's got a harder gyro slider now instead of like a slurvy slider that he had before. And I'm a big Thomas White guy. I've got him ranked number 30 in my latest rankings. What do you think about Thomas White?
This has got to be a situation where they're just monitoring workload over the season. In fact, I'd argue he's not injured. And maybe they're like, dang it, we kind of need him to get a little banged up because otherwise we got to limit his workload. Because he went for 2 innings and only 39 pitches. And the game before that, and it's like he did fine, 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. And then the next game, the most recent game, 4 innings, 8 strikeouts in 4 innings, 1 hit, over 51 pitches. And there's like, I guess he was going, here's his pitch count for the season: 70, 66, 60, 76, 77, 72. So, like now for major leaguers, that's not that much, but I guess for a kid, right? Coming out, he's a cold weather arm too. You got to remember that, right? Coming out of Massachusetts. So I don't know. Maybe he was doing some things in warmer climates than but in the off season, but maybe not, or maybe not. Maybe he's not used to throwing this much. And he was a COVID kid, right? I'm not sure if he could throw a lot of places or if it's a whole thing. And so regardless, and they're also probably just saw what happened to Yuri, and they're seeing how Ryan Weathers just friggin' can't have any luck. Maybe they're getting nervous, and the metrics. I know these guys are a big metrics team, the Marlins. Everyone is these days, but they're really super by the metrics sort of deal. So there's something telling them we should baby Thomas White. They're doing it. I'm pretty sure, barring injury, we will see him in AA by season's end. And once you are in AA, you're not too far from the call. You're going to see him next year.
Yeah, I know you were the guy. Actually, you were a bigger Thomas White guy than me until I saw him this spring. Like before the spring, when we talked, you were the one who was super high on him, and I was like, no, Noble Meyer's the guy.
Yeah,
this stuff is just so nasty. So
I didn't get it.
The Thomas White guy.
I feel like I gotta hit that a bit more, I guess. But it's funny. Once like a prospect, everyone loves him. I kind of just leave him alone. I'm like, yeah, everyone knows now.
Yeah, move on to the next guy now. Old news.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like last year, Sikora was getting all the buzz. Even after White, like I called it as soon as early on, I called it like, oh yeah, White's gonna be better than Meyer. He's gonna get there faster at least. I can tell, and no one was really reacting. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like he's like one of the best prospect arms, and they're like, nah. And then they're like, oh, Sikora, who's this kid? I'm like, listen, don't make me hate Sikora. I love Sikora. He's my other guy. I'm calling early. Called both those guys early, but it was just so weird to me. I'm like, you guys don't like this other dude? He's a lefty. He's got a big frame. He got some nice pitches. Okay. With the Marlins. Okay. Now everyone kind of gets it.
I just didn't like his slider because I thought it was going to be too hittable, but he changed it. So that's one of the things too, is like if I feel like if a pitcher's coming up and they have a really elite pitch, then just ride, like, you can ride that most of the time, unless it's like Kumar Rocker. Because the problem is, like, Kumar Rocker's elite pitch was a slider. Like, if there's a pitcher coming up and they have a really good fastball, and then they have one other pitch that's like pretty good, I think they can make that work and develop a third pitch. Like, guys can develop breakers more than they can develop a good fastball. I feel like the fastball is the hardest pitch to develop, which is why I tend to put more emphasis on it now. Like, some guy online was like arguing with me about Cade Horton or whatever in my rankings. He's like, dude, I got Cade Horton high enough. And it's like, it's because the fastball is just not great. Thomas White has a great fastball. So I feel like if you have a great fastball, you can kind of build things around that. It's like the foundation. So,
he had a 91 heater when he was 14 years old.
Oh, my kid can do that.
No, I'm serious. So, like, and then you got to imagine what's his birth year? It's 2004. So that means he's 16 when COVID pops off. And he's like just getting into that prep hype, and especially in the Northeast and Massachusetts, it's like a lot of restrictions with COVID. And that's just the reality of it. Right. So for probably maybe even into 2022 there. So this guy is like, it's tricky, right? So he was this phenom, and catching tons of buzz, and then kind of went silence when he wasn't able to play and show everyone what he had. So they forgot about him. So that's why the Marlins were lucky to get him in the comp with a comp pick.
Yeah, I went to a baseball game like a week and a half ago and brought my son. He's 5. They had a fast pitch, and the gun read 72 when he threw it. I was like, dude, I know you throw hard, but there's no way. Kid behind him then, because I thought it was broken because he threw it like 5 times and it got 72 every time. I was like, no, that gun's broken. Kid behind him comes and throws a 58 or something like that.
How old's your boy?
He's like an 8-year-old. He just turned 5. I was like,
what?
There's no way. I was like, there's no way. I thought the gun was broken. And then the kid behind him came, and it was like an 8-year-old. It was like an older kid, and threw it like 58. And I was like, oh, I was like, really? I was like, I've never read it. Like, he throws it hard, but I was like, no way. He's already broken 2 windows in the TV, but I don't think he's throwing 72 as a 5-year-old. Just breaking my stuff. But number 10, proud father, right? Number 10, we got starting pitcher Cam Caminiti with the Braves. Who made 113 in my rankings this week. 5 innings pitched, and he's out of complex. He's an Aceball now, so we're gonna start getting some readings on him. 5 innings pitched, 8 Ks, 1 walk, 180 ERA, 0.4 WHIP for the big lefty. Dude, tell me if you like this comp for him. I put a raw Mackenzie Gore for my comp. You like that for Cam Caminiti?
I think there's that's a good comp. Obviously, you can't get mad at that comp. We all. But I don't know. I think that Gore's so fastball heavy. Like, that's his focus, at least. Whereas you just see a very diverse arsenal. I think Caminiti's he seems like he's got an advanced arsenal for someone his age. He's only 18 years old still. So I think I just want to say, oh, maybe he could be better. It's like better than like a really, really, really good pitcher, like in MLB. It's like, so it's dangerous to say, but I'm excited on this kid. I don't know if people are high enough on him. Maybe this injury kind of like gave him a little dent. He's got that name, got a really fun name, Cam Caminiti. You gotta love it. And got the MLB genes through his uncle. Yeah. So he's an all-star.
Ken Caminiti, yeah. He was
an all-star.
He was a dude. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
What was it? I'm going to look up his I want you to guess right now. We're going to play a little game. I want you to guess Ken Caminiti's career WAR.
That's not fun. Let's do I'm not really a big WAR guy. I just like to, gosh, friggin' Victor Scott. Safe. No, you're kidding me. Review it.
I'm watching this game.
I was gonna say he sucks, but he made that. You review that. Anyway, gosh, he sucks so bad. Yep. Marmol says review it. Anyway.
I'll just give you the answer. 36, which is pretty solid, man. 36.
Okay, but his career average 269.
Career batting average 272. Oh,
you're close
there, dude.
Did he average like 17 home runs a year?
Probably 239 home runs.
I'm gonna go look at the bottom now. I'm gonna go type it in. Can Caminiti.
239 home runs in 14 seasons. So let's do some quick math here.
It shows it at the bottom.
But then again, 2 of those seasons he barely played. So we'll call it 12 seasons. 239 home runs in 12 seasons is almost 20 home runs a season, man. 19.9. Yeah. He had look at this in 1996 for the Padres, definitely on steroids. 40 home runs, 109 runs, 130 RBI, and 11 steals.
Yeah, he was an MVP that year. He won MVP.
That was his who's the Orioles dude who like popped 3 home runs every year that also had 50? Brady, what was his name?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Someone's listening right now, like, oh, you idiots. Brady something. Brady Anderson? Is that it? Brady Anderson with the Orioles? I have to Google that now. Brady Anderson.
But I know that I was pretty close guess with Caminiti because I've looked at this page before and I was like, yeah, solid. Yeah, he was just like a good, sturdy dude. And then he had like 1, 2, 3, 4 years of glory. He had 4 years above 18 home runs. Like he really was not a home run guy.
Get this. In the same year that Ken Caminiti had his season, Brady Anderson in 1996 had 50 home runs and 21 steals for the Baltimore Orioles, hitting 297. His second best home run total in his entire career was 24.
Did they catch him?
I don't know. Like that dude, he jacked 50 bombs in a year, and his second best year was 24. That guy was definitely juicing that year. There's no way. 1996 is like the year. That's like the year of steroids. That's the year where after post strike, where the MLB was like, "Gosh, we need to like get some fans. Let's just juice everybody up." Like, let's just.
I like that he. No, this. So I'm gonna make something up that's probably not real, but it's because he went basically no home runs ever, and then after it went no home runs ever, which is unusual. So I'm thinking that was his contract year. His agent's like, just do a little juice, and Brady's like, no, but I'm concerned about my health, and about my integrity. And he's like, yeah, but your family. Do it for your family. You'll get a big paycheck if you do 50 bombs. He's like, all right, I'll do it. And just for 1 year. And he just did it for 1 year. That's the story of Brady Anderson.
His career ISO was 170, and that season was a 340. like double his power just for 1 year. It's insane. D. Gordon saw that, and that's why D. Gordon was like, I can do that. And then he got rocked. All right, Doc, you have any huckleberries for us while we're screwing around here? 1996.
Oh, man. Well, I was talking about some guys last night with the White Sox, and I got put on to a couple names. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you this. Colson Montgomery is someone who a lot of people are fading right now, right? And they don't want to believe. People have been trying to fade him for years, frankly, since – because MLB.com kind of went bold, right? They had him as a top 20 guy for a while, top 10 at one point as a prospect, and he wasn't really doing it. And this year he got set down for a reset, if you want to be nice about it. And then, look at that. That's okay. His last game, is he hurt right now? He hasn't played in a little bit, but he came back up to AAA, and he has a 276 batting average, 382 OBP, and 4 home runs in the 16 games since he's been back at AAA. So that's more what you wanted to see from Colson Montgomery. Could be a nice little buy low window, assuming he's not seriously injured.
Yeah, he's got a big frame. The main thing for him is the contact rate, because when he was coming up, everyone's like, oh, big lefty shortstop. He's the next Corey Seager. Now everyone's completely forgotten about him. And it's like, nope. Bryce Rayner is the next Corey Seager now. So, and he out for the season. RIP Bryce Rayner.
So annoying. So annoying that he's hurt.
Yeah. But Colson Montgomery, the whole question is the hit tool. 72% contact rate. I mean, that's not quite Carson Williams, but it's like he's 73% contact rate, but he's 88 zone, almost 89. So like that's really good. So that's something with the right profile. He's hitting enough power and walking enough. That actually is good, and you can get by with that, right? If you can hit 20 home runs, and if you can get like a 330 or 340 or higher OBP, you're a ball player, And he's, again, I've said this before with Colson Montgomery, doesn't seem likely at this point, but Gunnar Henderson's another guy from Middle America, a little bit further south, but
he's an Indiana boy, Colson, so I kind of root for him that way. He's from middle of nowhere, Indiana, southern Indiana, and he played basketball. So you got to think about it, right? Some kids, when they're 12, 13, 14 years old, it's pretty obvious. The scouts start, noticing, teams start noticing, in at least in their leagues they're playing in. Oh, that's the stud. That's the stud from our area. You become that guy from our region. That's the guy, and they stick to that sport. There's like, okay, that time to focus. But Colson Montgomery, I believe, was playing basketball all the way through, and just at the very, the last second was like, okay, I guess I'll do baseball now. So now he has to just all that time, those years that he spent, right after high school, where others had been putting in like this solitary focus, all these hours of their day and their lives into just baseball. Colson Montgomery kind of had to like play catch up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is 28.9% chase rate's not bad, but he's got a 33% K rate, almost 34% K rate. So it's like,
yeah, but again, you have to look at how he's been doing since he came back, because clearly something wasn't right. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this has been an amazing season, and I can't sit here and say 16 games defines him either. But 15 strikeouts versus 7 walks and 68 plate appearances, that's fine. It's acceptable.
Yeah. Talk about dual sport. My boy Sam Horn is supposed to be the quarterback for University of Missouri this year, and it sounds like he's going to get drafted. So I don't know what's going to happen after that, because he's supposed to be the starting QB for the Tigers. So I don't know. Just one of those fun little things to watch. At least hopefully nobody drafts him top 10 like Kyler. So waste of a first-round pick for the Athletics right there. You got any more Huckleberries for us, Doc?
Dude, I have a deep cut. I have one that you might not have heard of.
Hit me.
Ryan Galaney.
I know the name. I think. Yeah,
he's from the White Sox.
How do you spell it?
Galanie. Galaney.
Oh, he's not.
And he's so Galanie. White Sox. Put it in Google. It'll figure it out for you. He's 6'2", 215, like good frame, right-handed bat, 24 years old, almost 25. That's why you really and he's a White Sox bat. That's why you haven't heard of him. And if you look through his profile, you're like, okay, he struggled. Here's the deal. He came on the scene in a complex ball when he was a 23-year-old. So, this is just an older guy to begin with. Again, I don't know anything about his backstory or anything like that, but came out, was like doing okay, wasn't really striking out, but no power really, stealing a little bit, like not really sexy. Then 2024 comes along. It's like, okay, 17 home runs, that's pretty solid. That's okay, we'll deal with that. And then like starting to take walks, really walking. This year, now he's all the way up to Double-A, and he's not walking as much, but he's only striking out 13% at Double-A and has 7 home runs total through 56 minor league games so far. So, and 7 stolen bases. I'm not sure if that'll stick. It's just like, this is not a super exciting guy, but 78% contact rate. I'm just like looking at a guy like this, and this is a 30-team pickup. And the reason I'm mentioning him is because I never get to do this anymore. I'm like not deep prospect diving, but this White Sox podcast, they put me onto him. I'm like, and I like to do this. I like to see who's available in which Fantrax league, which deep 30-teamer. He's not taken into any of them. He's available in all of them. And so I picked him up. And this is a guy who, again, like Peters, like he'll probably get a shot sooner than later, because teams don't really want a 26-year-old, who's playing well to be sitting in their minor leagues forever. They're going to be like, all right, let's see what you got, bud, because otherwise we got to move on. So Ryan Galaney for the 30 teamers out there. You're welcome. Doc finally did something useful for you.
Is he Gavin Sheets or Lucan Baker?
Oh, definitely not Lucan Baker. He doesn't seem like
he's a all-time
masher. But I mean, he has some power, though, right? How many games did he get the 17 bombs in? I mean, he was a little old for the level, I guess, but
106 games, 17 bombs in 106 games.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. 7 and 56. Like, these aren't mind blowing. Maybe he'll be like a 15 to 10. Sorry, 15 to 20, maybe 15 to 18 kind of home run guy. But yeah, if you can get these numbers, like his surface numbers are unbelievable. He's got a 300 batting average right now.
You mean his back of the baseball card stats?
Back of the baseball card. Yeah, we gotta bring that one back. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of fun going through these White Sox prospects, especially the batters, because just nobody hypes them up. Bonnemer's starting to finally get some. Caleb Bonnemer's getting some hype. Of course, Kyle Teal and Brady Montgomery, but they had all that shine because they heard Boston prospects for 5 seconds, and so they had a good dose of hype from that machine.
Christian Oporr, dude, did you talk any Christian Oporr?
We did. There was apparently him and his co-host Ozzie Guillen Jr. This is Chris Gonzalez, by the way. He's the main host, and he shout out Chris. I don't remember who's who. He's an Oporr guy, and then Ozzie Jr. likes Bautista. I forget the guy's name. Aldrin Bautista. And so I think Oporr's hurt right now. But yeah, he seems like he's okay. Like I just have a harder time getting super excited about the guys in the low minors unless like I'm really doing my research. I see some tape, things like that. I think it comes down to seeing tape. Or really jumping off the page.
Samuel Zavala, he almost made the T10. He had a nice week this week. That's talk about another name from 2023. he's been a dead prospect for 2 years now until lately. So some of these guys, they're really young for the level. They develop a little slower. They figure it out. Like look at Cole Young this last year, right? Like Cole Young is just like started hitting all of a sudden for extra base hits this season, and you could say, oh, it's because the PCL. Maybe, or maybe because he was a 20-year-old playing at AA or 19-year-old at AA or whatever. So, like
age to level is critical.
Time. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to call that a podcast, Doc, unless you have anything else to add. He's like, no, I'm out. Travel tomorrow. I'm out. We got Doc Eisenhauer at Doc Eisenhauer on the Twitter machine. You can also find him on Dynasty Dingers or on random White Sox podcast. No. You can find him on the White Sox. What's next? Who's the next team that's going to bring Doc in? Let's find out. So you can find Doc on the Twitter machine. You can find me at Fantasy Aceball on X. Check out my latest top 150 rankings. They're coming out on X, also on Fantasy Pros. And little teaser here to talk the top 75. I've got the 3 Wisemen. I've got the 3 Chris's coming on this week. So we've got 3 different Chris's, all in the industry, all prospect guys that are going to be on this show going 25, 25, 25 with the three wise men, the 3 wise Chris's. So to make Doc jealous a little bit because he's like, oh, but
I'd be jealous if I had more free time.
Yes. All right. So that's a podcast. We'll see everybody next time. Peace out, y'all.